So I'm sitting around with a bunch of friends the other day, and the topic veers to regret. And after you've been around for about 40 or 50 decades, regret's something not necessarily that you want to attack head on. But with a little bit of soul searching and an extra shot of tequila, I came around to admitting that my biggest regret in life so far has been not going to Italy in my junior year of college. And that surprised me because I've done a lot of stupid things, regrettable things, you might even say. And as we went around the table and people talked about their regrets, jobs they didn't take, lovers they did take, it occurred to me that our most significant regrets are not the most painful. I mean, I had a boyfriend who cheated on me and had unprotected sex with somebody else. That was painful. I once had 9 martinis and fell off a table at a restaurant in London. That was really painful, literally. But they don't feature in my Billboard top 10 of regrets. And I think that's because the regrets that stay with us are the ones that we feel would have had the largest impact on our lives had we chosen a different path. And that's interesting. We live in a time when regret is not valued. In fact, it's almost feared. Don't do anything you're going to regret, or, don't cry over spilt milk and keep moving and that sort of thing. And I think that's problematic for a couple of reasons. One is emotion is a persistent little wench. Emotions don't let you go. So the more you try and repress them, they're going to show up lodged in your back, or they're going to erupt at the dinner table or at a PTA meeting in the most inconvenient places. So you want to kind of face them. The second thing is, obviously, you can learn from them. You can learn from regret. I will never have 9 martinis again in my entire life. I'm sure of that. And the third part, which I think is the most interesting, is kind of the big regrets. Like for me, the Italy thing and what it tells us about ourselves. The fact that it still lingers 20 years later is because obviously it is something I want, need, and feel. And I think that's worth listening to, no? So a useful way then of thinking about regret, particularly as we're trying to overcome them, is that not all regret is considered equal. You take the unproductive ones and learn from them very quickly and get rid of them. And you hang on to the productive ones and lean into them and really think about what they're trying to tell you about yourselves. I read somewhere that in the short term, you regret doing something, martinis, and in the long term, you regret not doing something. Case in point, clearly a part of me still wants to be sitting on the Ponte Vecchio instead of sitting here in San Francisco. So I have to deal with that before it deals with me. So I think when it comes to regret, the useful way is not about not having regrets. We're going to fuck up. We're going to make... I totally regret balancing my camera on a bunch of books, because that obviously didn't work out very well. In summary, I think the thing with regret is not trying to lead a life that doesn't have any, because that's not going to work, obviously. But it's about leading a life in which we have the right regrets. And here's a note on martinis that a wise friend once shared with me. They're like breasts. 1 is too few and 3 is too many. Cheers.